I'm Dave with RC Junkie TV, and today we are talking the ECX Barrage 1/12 scale truck. The body that's on it is still clear. This was the kit version of the truck. I bought it, I think, just before Christmas, and when I assembled it, I actually didn't run with the rear shock towers. I put different shocks on there, and I was running a Tamiya Blackfoot body. So that's basically how it was when I drove it, the one and only time I've driven it so far. And the light crawling that I did with it, it really didn't do too bad. I did run different tires. I haven't tried these tires yet. They feel pretty soft. They're a little bit of an all-terrain tire. To me, they're too big for the truck, but that's just me. The kit version does come with a clear body. As you can see, it normally does have body posts. I don't have them on yet. I'm trying to just kind of knock out this review real quick. I've been feeling under the weather. So, looking at this truck without the body, there's some neat features to it. Like I said, it did come as the kit version. I know the ready to run version, the shocks actually come inboard, I think that they're calling it, inside of the frame rails, where the kit version comes outside of the frame rails. It is called a ready to run kit, so it comes with all the electronics, the speed control, radio and receiver, motor. Comes with a little 900 milliamp battery, which isn't too bad. The ESC is nice and compact. That's actually one of the ESCs that I run in some of my other brush trucks, so it's not too bad. One of the few downfalls, I would say, of this truck, of the kit, is just about every screw is a tiny little 2mm screw with a Phillips head on it, and those can be a pain to work with, just being so small. However, it wouldn't be too difficult if you wanted to put larger screws in some spots. I mean, not sure why you would want to, but I mean, you could. So this doesn't have the front or rear bumper on it. Like I said, I was running a Tamiya Blackfoot body on here. I did use the axle mounted servo mount to make a chassis mounted servo. A little bit of poor man engineering up front, so that way it has chassis mounted servo. No panhard bar, but it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't do too bad. I bought it with the intent of just doing some light trailing, light crawling with it, and the little bit of testing that it has seen, it's not a bad little truck. And I mean, moving on to one of the only other flaws that I see with it is it does have a plastic locker. That isn't that good. Isn't the best. I mean, you're running metal drive shafts, or the drive shafts have metal yokes. The plastic middle section, I guess you could say, is plastic, but the yokes themselves are metal. They're actually you can fit a 10 scale drive shaft on there. It does have metal axle shafts, so I mean, any kind of little bit of play is going to start wearing out that plastic locker, which obviously isn't good. But other than that, I mean, if a company came out with a metal locker for this, I think that this truck would actually be a decent little start to a Class 1 vehicle. I mean, the short wheelbase makes fitting the smaller Tamiya bodies, the hard body Tamiya bodies on here pretty easy. And I mean, with the compact transmission, I was able to fit that Blackfoot body on here with an interior in there without without doing any modifications to the interior to make it fit on here. And it didn't sit ridiculously high above the body either, or above the chassis either. It wasn't too bad. It does come with metal links, which are nice. This is, I believe, a 380 size motor. As far as motors go, I mean, you're kind of limited. I know Team Brood makes a couple 370 size motors that would be good for this. They have the, he just started coming back out with the Anarchy hand wound 370 size motor, and he has the Frenzy machine wound motor that'll fit in these that really open it up. So looking at the motor, it is a 390 series size motor, which most other smaller motors are considered 370, 380. Team Brood actually makes a good motor that will fit in here. The Anarchy hand wound motor, the Frenzy machine wound motor, those were all designed for the smaller vehicles like this, like the MRC and the Mini Nightcrawler or the Mini Losi Crawler and all that. So it really makes for a good upgrade for this. Like I said, the plastic lockers, I mean, I'm sure there's some things you can do to make it withstand the power of the motor and of the abuse that you would get in a comp. Because I mean, if you look at this truck, it's got some nice small pumpkins. I mean, for the start of a Class 1 build, it's definitely not bad. The shock caps on the shocks are aluminum. The shocks don't feel too terrible. I mean, they're not the best, but they get the job done, I would say. The servo up front, I have it mounted as a chassis mounted servo. Normally it comes intended to be as an axle mounted servo. The mounting plate is metal, aluminum. It does fit, or you can fit a normal 10 scale servo in there. Right now, the servo that it comes with is a shorty servo, or a low profile servo. So it really wouldn't be too difficult to modify it to fit a normal size 10 scale servo. I mean, there's no panhard bar, but I mean, it doesn't have really much bump steer. It's not too bad with just doing this cheap little poor man mod. Doesn't really it didn't come with any sliders, which I think is a good thing. I mean, sliders normally hang you up, but if I really wanted to build this thing into a nice Class 1 rig, I would make sliders on the side to mount all my electronics. I'd do a few other things, but talking about it in stock form, I mean, it really isn't a bad little truck. We sell them for right around $179 at Nankin Hobby, and I think that the price point is definitely good. It definitely gets you into crawling. While I wouldn't say it's one of the best trucks out there, it's not a bad truck to start out with. So that's my review on on the ECX Barrage. Tiny truck on.
Motherfuckers.